Hey! Hey everyone, how's it going? We are finally able to stream again. Wasn't sure, the internet was a little bit iffy earlier, but that's okay. We're continuing on the Corset, cottage-core Corset. Let me grab up a picture here. This is what we're continuing on today, and I don't know if we're going to be able to fully finish it, but that's the goal, I guess. Howdy, hello. You're from Tumblr. Awesome, awesome. Welcome. So yeah, I might just jump straight into it really. I don't have too much to say about it. The last stream was mostly just working on the sleeves. I had a lot of trouble getting the shape of the sleeves right, so that was literally like what 90% of the stream last time. But we got that all done, and so today we just got a little bit of modeling to do. We'll definitely be able to move on to texturing and maybe be able to get it into the game. You didn't know that I streamed? This is literally my second stream. Yeah, I started streaming last week, and so that's when we started this Corset. And yeah, I thought it would be a good idea because I don't really want to do tutorials or anything. Just I feel like I'm not great at explaining things, so I figured this was like a happy medium and a bit of a compromise. So yeah, if people want to join the stream or I put the video up on YouTube afterwards anyway, then yeah, you can watch it in real time with commentary. What commentary I can do for it. Yeah. There's not much to it at this point, so we're gonna finish up the sleeve part and just go from there. See what happens. Blue Cravings tutorials? I'm gonna say I don't know who they are, but I don't watch a lot of tutorials either, so that could be why. Yeah, it's always, I do like seeing how other people work and get like little tips and tricks like here and there. It's always good to see. What I'm gonna do is I basically need to attach the shirt to the top of the corset here. And I'm going to adjust that music in a second. Is the music too loud? I feel like it's a touch too loud. Is that Blue Cravings? Awesome. I'll go check them out. Why not? Not right now, after the stream, but there we go. Music is a touch down. Yeah, I actually haven't heard of them. I don't know if they're from Tumblr, but that's mainly where I stalk for custom content, so. Okay, now let's attach these two from Tumblr. Okay, I'm very out of the loop then. Yeah, I'll go check them out afterwards. No, I don't use Marvelous Designer. I've kind of been tempted to do it, but like I have my own workflow in Blender that I'm happy with and it works for me, so yeah, I just made it straight in Blender. I mean, no shade to anyone who does use Marvelous Designer, like, it's pretty cool. I don't like the idea of having to pay for it, but that's just me. Thank you. It's, yeah, I don't know. it's just a technique that I've, I guess, worked on. I don't know, it just works for me. Like, I'm very comfortable with it, so I just do that for all the clothes that I make. You're just getting into making custom content? Yeah, there's definitely a lot to it. It's quite an involved process. Yeah, you seem pretty keen, like you're keen to learn and be watching other people and picking up on things, so that's a good start. I wouldn't get too discouraged, like you'll definitely like pick up on things and like things will click and you'll understand things a bit better later on, so I feel like a lot of people say that I make it look very easy, but at the same time, I've been doing this on and off since 2016, so I've had a lot of practice. Yeah, I guess not necessarily not pushing yourself, like it's good to be ambitious and you know if you're pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone each time, then you're going to be learning stuff with each like new thing that you're doing that you don't know how to do originally. But yeah, just I wouldn't get too discouraged. Even failed projects, like there's even things that I've made like really recently that haven't turned out great or just completely failed because it's out of my skill set. So I wouldn't get too discouraged. Take it all as a learning experience, but you sound like you've got it sorted. And what I'm doing as well is like making clothes completely from scratch. Like you don't necessarily have to do that either. I don't know if you're up to like making clothes or anything, but like taking already made meshes like Maxis, clothes that are already in the game and modifying them is probably a good place to start as well. Okay. I might smooth that out a little bit, but at least that's attached. I forgot I need to do like the straps over the shoulders too. Gosh, I have to do that in a second. You've done a few things in Marvelous Designer and tried to make shoes from scratch in Blender, but you can't find a model to use. As in like you can't find a model already in the game to use? Because yeah, shoes are a little bit deceptively complicated. Oh, as in like a base foot to use. Okay. What about, like, I don't know if it's like what you're referring to, but taking just like the nude foot mesh and then building a shoe around that. Unless you're wanting something a little bit more detailed than the Max's foot, because it's a little bit simple, but it's somewhere to start at least. Because like this is just like the nude foot mesh attached to the base, the legs. Yeah, you can easily just extract. Exports it footless. Let me because I know I've definitely been able to do it before. Ooh. Why is this lagging so much? Yeah, so that's the female shoes. Let's just chuck it in that one. If this works, I'll tell you how to do it, but I'm just seeing if it's going to work or do the same thing that you're saying. Where did I save that? Gosh. Object. Okay, so yeah, I was just able to export out the feet like that. And it doesn't have a texture on it, but that's only because of the Blender version that I'm using. If you search for... make sure you're doing create a 3D mesh, and then I just searched for nude and it's down in the bottom. And then when you hover over it, it'll tell you, like, that's the male shoes nude, female shoes nude, and then you can just export the mesh from that. And that should be what you're after. But I am going to smooth this out a tiny bit. Maybe. Oh, there we go. No problem. I hope that you can get that, at least. You can do... Yeah, you probably saw that you can do that for any part of the body. Like, you can get even like the nude head, like nude head, nude torso, bottom, and feet. And this is just a base mesh that I've done to put like all of them together to make it easier for me to build clothes off of. Yeah, you can get any part in like a nude version, I guess. Right. Oh, and I need to add the flares to the sleeves too. And I shouldn't have messed with that. It was good how it was. I'm gonna make sure they're very puffy looking. Let's add in more detail. Bit nicer curve. Not sure if I want to keep them like perfectly round or not. I'll decide on that later. Let's do those shoulder straps. And I might just cheat by taking a square from here. Add a shrink wrap to it. This is how I basically made the base shape for the corset as well. It's the same kind of thing. And because we've got a shrink wrap modifier on it, it'll automatically follow the shape of the body here. I actually kind of like the placement of that because it's supposed to be like off the shoulder, not off the shoulder, but like on top of the shoulder. Like that. Doesn't come quite down that far though. And round it off. I think it's still... Actually, no, that's good. I'm confusing the top of the corset with the top of the shirt. Thank you. It's getting there. And then we're just improvising the back of it because I don't know what it's supposed to look like. So what if I mirror it on I2? Maybe? That doesn't look like it actually did anything. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's just do it from scratch. And round it off a bit. And I still want to bring it down a little bit. I did not mean to do that. Don't do a loop cut while you have face snapping on, or it won't work. There we go. And we'll apply that so we can now move it around freely. The low poly and high poly mesh is separate? Yes. Okay, I'll show you what we did last week. So because I wasn't getting the shape that I wanted for the sleeves, I ended up sculpting in the sleeves like this, which is obviously super high poly, as you can see. And then in Blender, what you can do, it's just a method of retopology. So you have like a separate plain mesh on top with a shrink wrap modifier, which means it like shrink wraps around that high poly mesh. So that's the high poly one, and then the low poly one is there, I guess. So yeah, they are separate. This is really wonky for some reason. I guess I followed the body a little bit too well. No, that's okay, you're not disturbing. This was like my little compromise, I guess. So like a way to be able to help people without doing like tutorials. So it's fine if you want to pop in and ask questions. I'm happy to help. And it also explains for like, you didn't watch the stream last time either, so it's like catching everyone up, because I don't expect everyone to watch like 3-hour streams all the time. Alright, but that's the main part of the shoulder strap. I might add a little bit of dimension to it though. So I'll add a solidify modifier, which makes it thicker. Like that. Easy peasy. Then yes, we love questions. And when you're learning, it's always good to ask questions too. Like, if you don't ask questions, you're just gonna sit there wondering still, so... I'm just contemplating how I want to do this. Where's my reference picture? I think I might just do the bows first. That might just be easier. And I'm just making them off to the side here just so it's a little bit easier to work with. But I'll move them over afterwards. And I guess I kind of want a flat back on them too, so... Oops, wrong one. These are just going to be really simple bows because they're going to be quite small anyway. because we duplicated that, I gotta flip the normals. Let's add a bit more detail to that. Yeah, that works. And I think I want to make it a little bit, still want it to be kind of similar to the reference, so make the bows a bit wider. I don't mind those off center right now because I mean, it's kind of gonna be like a subtle, not so symmetrical look. I don't know, I feel like it'll look better in the end. What do you click to add the faces? Yeah, I just add in a new plane each time, zoom out each time, and then, yeah, just move it in. Well, these not quite so symmetrical, so that should do for now. Oops. These are gonna be at the base of that, apparently. Yeah. That'll do for now. And I'm going to unwrap it before I duplicate it across so I don't have to unwrap it twice. That'll do. I can... No, that won't do. I'll tidy it up a little bit, at least. what does unwrapping it do? That's just basically putting the the 3D piece over here, translating it into a 2D like flat image, I guess, that I've got on the left here, which see, I'm not great at explaining things. Lets me put a texture to it, essentially. I'm just making all of these squares just for neatness sake. They explained well enough? I'm so glad. And I might make these bows droop a little bit. I feel like that would be cute. Yeah, it looks a little bit nicer. Fix up the clipping a little bit. Alright, and I'm gonna need them on the back as well. Oh wait, it's on the corset, isn't it? Not the shirt. Yep. Alright, let's put it down here. Lots of finagling to get it into the right spot, but... tilt it that way. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Now let's add in the strap that connects them. I feel like a professional, I make it look easy. Yeah, I do get that a little bit, but thank you. I take that as a compliment. Yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like my mind has its own process and it's hard to put that onto paper, I guess is a good way to put it. I don't know. It's like doing math. It's like my mind just works it out. Like I don't know what I'm doing. It just happens. So that's kind of, yeah, why I kind of don't really want to do tutorials, and then also the time aspect of it. I feel like I'm not gonna do this what am I saying? I don't want to make this too fancy or like realistic how it would attach. I kind of just want it to be there. I guess. Any specific places I learned from? Well, I went into it. I learned 3D modeling because of custom content, but I very quickly, I guess, I don't want to say ditched custom content, but I kind of just took a more wanting to take a more professional approach on it. So I started learning 3D modeling outside of custom content, which I say will probably help. I don't know how good the Sims 4 modeling custom content tutorials are, but specifically, my first kind of 3D thing was the Blender Donut by Blender Guru. It's kind of like a meme in the community that like everyone who starts Blender does the 3D donut by Blender Guru. So that's an okay place to start. I can't think of too many others off of the top of my head. There are definitely some other ones out there. CG Boost is pretty good as well, and they're all just YouTube tutorials. So yeah, I feel like that's a decent place to start, I think. You definitely will get the hang of Blender. Like, it is a steep learning curve to get into it, but at least for me, things just kind of clicked when I started trying to figure things out on my own. So it does definitely help to be doing things along with the tutorials, and then I guess trying to do things outside of the tutorials as well to try and cement that new knowledge into your mind, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a teacher. Okay, I like the slight curve to that. And I might just duplicate that to the other side. Work smarter, not harder and all that. Save a little bit of time, I will. I feel like everything's just like a little bit too loose at the back in general. So let's move all this in a teensy bit. We move it in too much and it starts to clip. Ah! Maybe that's why it was loose. You know what? I'm just gonna put it back to how it was. It's fine. I do try and avoid clipping mostly. Sometimes it doesn't matter too much, like because some of this body will get deleted anyway, so I'm not too worried. And like, oh, okay, so I modified this to take a nice screenshot of, but really the boobs go out a little bit, but I wanted the corset to be a little bit like a corset, I guess, and like compressed. So I'm not going to worry about clipping around there because it's going to be deleted anyway and the corset's going to cover it. Just deleting the hidden body? Yep, exactly. But there are some places like, oh, I'm just not sure exactly how I'm going to do it yet. I might just enclose the top bit here. I feel like it might be a bit bulky though. I don't know. Let's duplicate that and mess around with it a bit. Because yeah, the easy way would just be merge that in. Oops. That would be the easy way to cap it off. I don't know, I just kind of like, because with this one you can still see, oops, let's get some more real estate here. Like being able to see like the shape of the arm underneath, like in the gaps, I kind of like that because it looks a little bit more loose and flowy. So I could keep it like that, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, let's try out some other things. Why is it all separate? I don't know. That's fine. Because I could also move it down a bit. Hi, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. What am I having a problem with right now? Just more messing around with how I want to cap off this top bit here. Although I think I like that because it still like caps it off a bit, so it's not just completely open, but still adds like that bit of depth and like flowy looking part to it. Because yeah, I could just keep it open. That's not too much of an issue. It's just a bit more Maxis matchy to have it capped off. And I guess I am going more the Maxis match route with this, so I need to cap off the bottom too. I actually like that. I'm gonna keep it like that. I like it. And we're gonna save it. The bottom should be pretty easy though. I say that. It's only gonna go that way. I mean, the bottom part is going to be easy. It's just because I have a couple of different layers here with the shirt as well. But that's easy fix. What I meant to do. just merge that to the center. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Okay. I think that's actually all of the mesh part done. Oh, my music stopped. Yes, I am still watching. Please. Amazing how fast I did it all. It's practice. It really is. Practice and confidence. Like, because I figure out in my mind, like, I know what I want to do. I just need to figure out the method to get to where I want to be, essentially. So yeah, it's just, yeah, knowing what you're doing. You'll get there. Don't worry. I say that with full confidence, is that you will get there. I was very slow with meshing. I'm sure if I went back, I know I've got some very old speed meshing videos on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure if I went back and looked at that, it would be a lot slower than what I would be able to do now. It is good fun, and just, yeah, bringing your vision to life, essentially. It's very creative, it's very fun, it's very rewarding. So yeah, I hope you stick with it. It's fun. Yeah, now that everything's done, it's now the tedious part of unwrapping it all. So what I will do is, this goes for like everything. This isn't specific to this corset. I do this for everything. I have a like, this is a template for the Create a Sim texture space, and then figuring out where it can all sit on that. Is that pinned? I think that's pinned. They changed some things in this blender. It's all different. Okay, let's start with the main part of the corset first. Basically just going to to show what keys are clicking. Yeah, oh, I was actually going to do that and then I completely forgot. I did have one back in the day, but I forgot. That is not too much of a hassle. I'll see if I can do that really quickly now. But yes, I did have that idea and I completely forgot. I'm sorry. Thank you for the reminder. This one's for 2.8. I wonder if it still works. Give me a minute. I'll see if I can do this. If it's gonna take too long, then I'll just do it next time, but... Let's actually save this before we do anything. That one. Okay, apparently there's a start button here. There we go! It's in the bottom left of the Blender screen. That seems like a little bit annoying. Is there like a delay for it? It doesn't look like it. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, actually, that looks like it'll be fine. Okay, but now adding cuts into the mesh. I sectioned off the top round bit at the top and then the round bit at the bottom, and usually go down just the seam of the side. Sleeves are going to be a little bit more difficult in this case, just because they're not like normal like flow of faces, I guess. Maybe I'll just cut it here. Yeah, it's not going to be the cleanest thing in the world, but... whatever, we'll stick with that. It goes off to the side a little bit, but we'll see if it works. Just realized how much of a nightmare this is going to be, but let's do the easy parts first. I'll unwrap it like this, and then I'll apply the mirror afterwards and like work out the mirror later. So yeah, in this dead space in the arms here is where I'm just going to put the top and the bottom part. I'll hide them because I'm done with that. The front and the back of the corset should be pretty straightforward to do as well. And I'm just going to straighten it up a bit for neatness sake. A little bit. It's actually pretty straight to start with, so... yeah, that'll do. I'll just leave that as is for now. To work out the placement, I need to figure out what faces I can hide first, which will make sense in a moment. That didn't actually do all of my keys, did it? Hmm. It's picking up some of the hotkeys and not others. I apologize for that. The one that I used to have was really good, but I'll see if I can find a better one for next time. Okay. Now, sleep is gonna be a pain. Do I plan to stream often? Hopefully. It was kind of just bad timing with the first stream. I fully intended to do like daily streams, or at least every second day from then. Just things came up and wasn't able to do it. But yes, hopefully often. It'll be like the same time, probably, most likely. But yeah, I would like to do it like every day. It's a way for me to be at least a little bit productive, because I'm gonna admit I didn't do a lot of work today, but yeah, hopefully. Ah, I see. It is pretty ugly. I can't get emotes yet, but I already know who I'm going to get to do my emotes. When I am able to do them, whenever I'm Twitch partner or whatever it is. I don't even know. Like I said, it's my second stream. I don't know anything. Basically, all I did just now was I just capped off that arm bit. So this bit here, I want to be nice and poofy and open, but then I'm just capping it off up there a little bit. Didn't realize how helpful it would be. I'm glad it's helping. Um, yeah, like I said, if you do have questions, I'm still happy to answer, but yeah. I'm glad you're getting something out of it. Where did... Oh, I hid them. That's... Yep, that would explain that. Yeah, it can be a bit smaller. Yeah, anything like these little things, like the little caps on the sleeves and stuff, just put them in the dead space between it. It also helps to look at how EA clothing is and kind of deconstruct how they do it as well. Been using Marvel's Designer and you thought it was the best way, but now it's a bit limiting. Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I've seen it like used a little bit. I feel like it's got like its own applications, but by the looks of things, yeah, you can't just use Marvelous Designer on its own. You've got to use at least Blender to put it into the game. That's another note too. You gotta get your blood drawn? Oh gosh. Ugh, I hate that. Have fun. I don't know what to say to that. It's good for a base? Yeah. That's what it seems like, is that it's good to start with and then you put it into Blender. What is happening right now? Did I lose the stream for a second? I don't know, my little bar went red. Anyway, so I was saying something and now I don't know what it was. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so another thing is that I'm currently using Blender 2.93. I did lose the stream. I'm sorry. I think this is like the first time it's dropped, but yeah. I hope I'm back now, at least, before I'm gonna go on a tangent and say some things. But yeah, I'm using Blender 2.93, which doesn't directly work with Sims 4 Studio. The way that I work around that is it's basically because I like the workflow, I guess, and working in the newer version. And you can do pretty much everything in the new version. You just have to put it back into an old version that will link to Sims 4 Studio. Yikes. What is what here? So that's the top. Okay. Oh, yeah, that would help too. I don't know how I'm going to make this neat. Probably fudge it a little bit. This is like trying to make shoes look neat in the unwrapping. It just doesn't happen. Mixing techniques is the best course? Yeah. Like, I've seen some great things come out of Marvelous Designer, so yeah, if you mess around with that and you find a workflow that works for you, then go for it. Yeah, by the sounds of things, you'll definitely need to use Blender for some things. Yeah, everyone has their own methods and workflow as well, and what I'm doing is not working. And it's not undoing anymore. That's fine. I do not like this. I don't know how much I would lose. That could kind of work. I might not want to think about it yet, but you think you'll make a skirt or pants to go with this. I have thought about it a little bit. Originally, I was just going to do the corsets, but like especially the reference picture here, I like the look of that skirt that goes with it. It looks like this really like heavy, thick, woven kind of skirt. So I don't know, I like the pairing, and yeah, I could definitely make a matching set. I have thought about it. Haven't decided yet, but maybe. Been in the process of making a corset with a shirt similar to this. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad it's helping then. Like, I just realized this is a little bit wonky. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing going into it really. But yeah, just messing around with it, like jumping in, problem solving. Usually the way to go about things. When you're not sure when to start, just start. Figure it out along the way. Alright, these are really easy to unwrap. I find the color coding is really helpful. Definitely try and stick to like the tops in the green section here, the bottoms in the blue, and then shoes only in the red, because then you'll minimize conflicts between layering custom content and stuff. It's not always avoidable. Yeah, just how different custom content works together, but let's try and minimize it as much as possible. And I'm just laying these over the top of each other because I want them to have the same texture in the end anyway. These should be fine to just... where do I want them? Yeah, I'm gonna have to rearrange some things. That's fine. Everything's at least unwrapped for now. So in terms of placement, my eye is really itchy. I basically go through and delete all the faces that you aren't going to see anyway, and then that gives me an idea of what space on the UV is going to be free to put my texture, so that way it doesn't like bleed into the texture of the body itself. Like that there, you are going to see that, so I'll just keep them there for now. That bit on the arm, you only just see. So as long as I don't go like all the way up over that, we'll be fine. Oops, I went a little bit too far on that. And this is why I'm not actually deleting them, I'm just hiding them for now, so if I make a mistake I can just bring them back and unhide them. Okay, that looks even. The rest I'll just keep there. Okay, I'm gonna save and take a second to drink some water. You guys should also stay hydrated. go. Hydrating is very cool. Hydrate before you dehydrate. Trying to keep this even as best I can. But that's about as much as I could probably get away with. Might be able to get away with that. You actually can. Okay. Alright, that might be... It's good for a start, anyway. If that's going to end up being too small. It shouldn't do. We should be fine. Can actually go a tiny bit bigger. Because I can overlap these ones a little bit, just not too much. Should be pretty alright there though. Basically just lining it up, the corset with the body to see what faces I can overlap over here. Why is that not working? Ah. There we go. I think I might be a little bit too close there. It's hard to tell. Bottom, you don't want any overlapping, really. Just scale it up to fit the space a little bit better. And because I had to condense down the top, I'm just gonna bring the bottom down a bit. Should be fine. Sleeve is what's going to be a nightmare. Worst case, I could just put it in like the extra space down here, but there isn't a lot of space there. Might just move it around a little bit. I'm not distorting it too much though, so it shouldn't matter too much with the texture. At least I hope. Okay, and then we should have space to bring these back into the middle. Just fit these along the side. The bow pieces can just squish in there. Should be pretty good. Did that save? There we go. Alright, time to move on to texturing, which is actually a little bit more interesting than that. Add in a new image. I like to make it as high detail as possible, so that's 2048 by 496. Make it transparent. Alright, and so I should merge all of these together, maybe? Okay, one thing at a time. So that it's not so shiny, we can mess with the specular down here. And then I'm going to apply these mirror modifiers. This one we're going to apply, not in edit mode, apply the mirror modifier, and then we're going to select the mirrored side and mirror the UV. Then line it back up. Ah, I see. That is okay though. First, let's put this overlapping this one because they don't need to be unique. They can just share the same spot. And these ones have to move around a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just neatening them up a little bit. Not important, but I want to do it. Alright. Now we are ready to start texturing. Actually, you know what? I should have kept them separate, so that way it's going to be easier to paint, but that's okay. That as the same material. And, okay. I just realized that I forgot the laces across the front. So we're actually not ready to texture yet. Sorry about that. Just drinking some more water. Yeah, I should do the laces. Okay. And for now, I'm actually gonna give it a new, easier to see texture. They're probably not called laces because they're not shoelaces, but it will do. What I'll do is I'll mirror them to start with at least, so that way I'm not doing quite so much work. But then I will modify them later so that way they're not so mirrored in the end. Because obviously we've got like over and under and overlapping and stuff. I guess let's just start at the top. I'm going to do them really roughly to start with and then add in more detail later. So trust the process. Actually, if it's going to be mirrored, that one only needs to come halfway. Okay, and we've got quite a few laces going down. They're quite close together. That one goes on top, this one goes underneath. And I'm just going to copy that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times. 6 more times. Okay. So let's go 1, 2. It is actually kind of hard to see, isn't it? 4, 5, 6. And I clearly did mine too close together. This one's about halfway, then yeah, that should be pretty well spaced now, I think. Oops. A little bit closer in. This one should be fine. Laces are quite the tedious process. Why are they so far apart? Maybe I should just add in another row. That would probably just make things easier. Okay. Then I've been meaning to try a new thing out. Laces, although maybe I'll wait for that. Do you need to at least add in a little bit extra here, although I'll add 2 cuts into each one, so that way I can make it a bit smoother. Alright, and I'll add 1 more cut here. Give it a bit of shape. Okay, then what I think I need to do is I need to no longer mirror it, and then put one side over the other. It alternates, or this actually isn't one, then one, the one, the one, the one, the one. Okay. I'm gonna try alternate them and see how that goes. And I'm just hoping in the end all of this details are actually going to be worth it. So that one goes over, so that one now goes over. I don't know if there's actually like a proper method to do laces like this. This is just my method. This one goes over. Alright, time to join them all up. So in the reference, it looks like it might be like tied up in here and then like tucked away. So I'm not going to do a bow or anything on it. I'm just gonna have it as like an infinite crisscross, I guess. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Let's them back and then space between them. Yeah, it's coming along. Let's put 2 cuts in here to back a little bit. I can't do it too much, but whatever. So yeah, the infinite laces, it doesn't really work in a real life sense, but good enough for me. I'm gonna try make them a little bit more 3D. Nope, not that 3D. Let's just do 1 cut. 1 cut, not 3. Let's pull it out a little bit. And now it's clipping more. Like, it adds a bit more dimension to it, but could do is on the over ones, just add another edge loop and bring it out a little bit more. Did my music stop again? Sir, that is very rude. Alright. Not so much clipping, although I don't like this edge now. Okay. I feel like I spent way too long on that. And now I've got to unwrap them all. I should have done that before. That's fine. I'll take a hydrate break and figure out how to do it in my mind. All right. I think I'm just gonna do it in sections. I think do it in maybe like two little zigzag sections. We'll see how it works out anyway. Because I should be able to overlap them and just use the same texture space. I should be able to. So these are all, oh, why are you doing that? These are all the same, and then that is the top. That one should be the bottom. And then these ones are all the same. Although I don't think... So that is that side. Yeah, they don't look like they're all lined up the same way. So that would really be... aligned like that? Yeah. It's one thing that is a little frustrating sometimes, because that is the top one, that one's the bottom one. If I rotate it, it's actually mirrored. This one. Okay, so that's now the bottom one, and then the top is up here. Top, bottom, yep. I think I have the hiccups now. I drank too much water procrastinating doing this. This one is the bottom one, so that one is the top. This probably isn't going to make much sense, but I'm basically just trying to align them up. So that's one side done. And the top and the bottom I'm going to keep separate. So it doesn't really matter what way these ones are orientated. These ones... that's the top, but it's flipped the wrong way like that. Yes, okay. This one is that section, so I bet that one's the top? No, it's not. That's the top? Like, it's a rectangle here, but it's made it a square in here, which is kind of annoying. Okay, that's just everything without giving me the option. Alright. Yeah. Vertex, and let's move them along a little bit. So I feel like it's going to condense our texture a little bit too much. We can modify it a little bit later if we need to anyway. Well, that's the bottom, that one's the top, that one's... That's the top. Yes, yes, okay. Last one. Oops. Don't move the other one. That one's the top. Nope, that was the top. Okay. So once again, I feel like it might be a bit too squished, so let's just... do that, and then... it's flipped, like that. Alright. And now I promise that that's actually the last thing we need to do for the mesh. And how long have we got? Okay. So I'll probably spend the next half an hour texturing. I just noticed some things that have shifted and I want to fix up very quickly. Okay. Let's fit the laces into here. Actually, let's rotate them so we can make it a bit bigger, because the bigger they are, the more texture we can fit inside of them. They don't need to be too detailed, but we want a little bit there. This bit here is supposed to come the other way. Like that. And then this bit here is supposed to go underneath. This one's very wonky. Okay, but the rest look good. Yep, yep, okay, yep, that's it. I am going to start working on the texture. So, in terms of color, I usually just do it the color that the reference picture is in, just because I can. Really, there's no real method to it. But I'm liking the neutral kind of colors, so I might do variations of that in the future. But for now, I just color pick that actually, make it a little bit brighter. No, I don't actually like it brighter. Okay, let's just color pick. I'm just selecting all of the parts that I want to be white. Cool, cool. It's actually like kind of a creamy off-white color, isn't it? Let's color pick it. Base selection. And I'll do the laces and everything else after that. Like after we're done with this. Let's shade it all smooth so it's nicer to look at. I don't want to lose my selection, so I'm just going to shade this part smooth, and then let's mirror. Shading like a little bit tinted. But let's finally get started. I'm going to fix up the bit around like where it attached to the corset later. And actually looks like, okay, looks like there's a few gaps. So let's fix that in Photoshop. I've been meaning to download Clip Studio Paint as an alternative to Photoshop. Well, I mean, I've downloaded it, but I just haven't gone around to installing it. What am I doing? There we go. Alright, and then let's patch up these gaps, and I also need to add a bleed around the texture as well. So I can just do that by adding a stroke. 4 pixels is fine. A bleed, basically, whoops, I'll have to lock that. Just like a gap around the outside, just so that way, like if like the UV is like right on the edge of it, I guess, like if it goes over, then it's still got the texture there, if that makes sense. Like otherwise, if it's a little bit off, then it's going to pick up the color of the skin instead. Cool. I'm glad I could explain that well for you again. Yeah, I guess it's just like a bit of a safety net around your texture. Good at giving a general idea of what it means? I'm glad. I'll take it. Is that... What is that? I don't know why some of it's... Like, that should be mirrored. So I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm just going to leave it as is. This one also needs to be white. Okay, so that's just the foundation fixed up pretty much. Just like to fix it up before we go any further. So that way these little gaps, like you can see here, I guess that's a good example of like, it is picking up a little bit on the outside down this seam here. So by adding a bleed, it's just like, if it picks up something that's not directly on the texture, it's still going to pick up the texture and not something else. If I reload that, you can see that it's gone. Alright, and as for my texture, I like to... okay, so I usually say that I put in like rough colors and such, but I feel like in this version of Blender, something about the smudge brush changed. It doesn't blend as nicely, so I'm just going to build up the color and shading like really gradually. Even if you're explaining it perfectly, I won't understand completely unless I do it for myself. That's how I learn. That just makes a lot of sense. It's going to pick up texture and the bleed allows it to pick up the texture you want. Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, with how The Sims works, it's going to layer my shirt texture on top of like the skin texture. So if there's, that's why it's transparent too, is that's that way if there's nothing there, it's going to be skin texture behind it. Actually get rid of our reference image because it's getting in the way. Well, that's how The Sims 4 works anyway. I feel like The Sims 3 was a bit different, and so custom content was a bit more forgiving in that sense. So if you don't put a texture, it will be see-through. Yeah. Yes. I feel like I'm just gonna have to blend this out in Photoshop anyway. It's still not as smooth as I would like it. Texture and color or just color? It's kind of the same thing. Like I've put down basically my base color and now I'm going through with shading and stuff, but it's all like part of the texture itself. Texture in terms of just the image to put on the 3D model itself, rather than like a fabric texture or something, which you might be thinking of. Yeah, just something's up with the blending. It doesn't blend as nice as it used to. So I'll put it in Photoshop and mess with it a bit afterwards. Yeah, so I will add like some like actual texture later, like some fabric texture later. But yeah, all part of like the overall texture of the model itself. Oh, wrong button. Okay, so how does this look? Okay. So I want to make it look elasticy around this bit. Do I use Blender 3? I thought you had to use an older version. Also, hi, hello, how's it going? I'm using 2.93 specifically for this. I use both, essentially. For the... what is it called? The Sims 4 Studio Tools, or whatever specifically it is, that you need version 2.7 with. But I like working in the newer versions. It's just the workflow is a lot better. So I can do most of what I need to in the newer versions and then just import it into a older file and then put that version into Cinema Studio, if that makes sense. You've been using Blender 3? Yeah, going back does suck, and that's why I try and do as much as I can in the new one. I haven't actually tried Blender 2.3 yet. I think I downloaded it at one point, but when I started, let's get rid of that but. When I started doing some work on doing like Vroids and VTubers and stuff, the plugin that I needed for Blender only worked in 2.93, so I figured I may as well just stick to that one. This is hard to get to look right. Like maybe it needs to be not such a solid line. Yeah, even upgrading from Blender 2.8 to 2.93, they changed so much. Like I stuck with 2.8 for quite a while and got really used to it. Like I was really impressed with like everything that they changed and improved on and everything. I love it. Yeah, and then they changed quite a bit from 2.8 to 2.93, and I've heard that they changed a lot between 2.9 and 3.0. Okay, I think that helped. Alright, let's try and do better on this cuff around here. It's kind of in like little shapes like this, I think, but I feel like that would get too repetitive. Vary them up a little bit. I don't know what that was supposed to be. Just trying to make up shapes in my mind. It wasn't working too well. Leave that bit alone. I feel like it's got a lot of bushy bits to it. Do I paint all of my own textures? I thought everyone just baked them on. I've done a bit of 3D modeling, but there seems to be so many extra steps and so much more to still learn when it comes to making specifically Sims content. I'm pretty sure you can bake on textures. Look, I'm not a professional or anything. I have my method. My method works for me. I just like painting my own textures, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't just bake your own textures. It's just not something that I've done a lot of, so I don't really know what other advice to give. There might be something on the Sims 4 Studio forums, tutorial-wise. I'm not 100% sure. As long as like the texture when you're done is like this ratio, 1024 by 2048 or 2048 by 406, as long as your texture like looks like that, then I don't see why that wouldn't work. You tend to have a lot of issues with baking. Yeah, I can't really give any advice in that sense, but maybe, I don't know if you've looked at any like tutorials, but broaden your search to not be just custom content tutorials. Like it seems like a very generalized thing. Like if it's just baking textures, then you could just search for Blender texture baking tutorials. It wouldn't have to be specifically Sims 4 Studio tutorials. Okay, kind of like that. Alright, so I'm going to add... Actually... Oh, I'm silly. Okay. I'm just gonna fix this up in Photoshop for a second. Whoops, wrong one. Oh gosh, don't do that. was that bit. I don't know why it kept some of it brown. Maybe I didn't select it properly, but it's supposed to be white because it's the top of the shirt. Cool. Don't usually look for Sims tutorials specifically? Yeah. Probably most of what I learnt wasn't directly related to Sims 4 custom content. I've just used what I learnt in the realm of 3D and applied it to custom content. I feel like that helped me learn a lot more because I wasn't stuck in like the mindset of making it for Sims 4 custom content. Helped me get a better understanding of it, I guess. Oh, because it's not selecting those parts for some reason. Huh. Let's make sure. Let's hope that fixes itself, because I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, I'm gonna add in a guide for the elastic and do a trim around the top. Alright, and same kind of concept. Yeah, I feel like that'll work. It's pretty much just lines and little pointy arrows. Makes it easy when you break it down into simpler shapes. just wondering if I maybe should have made it proportionately a little bit thicker. Wonder if I could get away. Bring it down like this. Nope. Definitely not. I'll just leave it as it is. I mean, it worked, I think. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I feel like it's definitely starting to come together at least. Sometimes you just gotta trust the process. Alright. That is the elastic part. Alright, let's hide that part. I might just finish that off in Photoshop. Just to make it a bit darker in here since it's going to be covered by the body. So it's pretty messy for now, but that is okay. Might be a little bit too dark there. Maybe not. There we go. Alright, so solid start from where we were today. You're back! Welcome back! I was just about to wrap it up for the night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do too much more tonight. Getting a little bit late, but it's definitely... Let me do this. And then save our image, because you always got to save the image separate from the file. But this is where we're at for today. It's a decent progress. I didn't think that I was going to be able to get it done all today. Giving you inspo to actually learn, I'm so glad. I'm actually genuinely happy. So, I mean, if you want to show me anything that you do end up making, feel free to do it. I would be happy to see. And yeah, like I said, always happy to help as well. So, if you want to pop into future streams as well, feel free to. But yeah, hopefully one more stream and we will at least be able to get it mostly done. Hopefully. It's nearly done pretty much. Just gotta finish off the texture. Rigging it shouldn't be too much of an issue. No problem. Thank you for hanging out. And yeah, that's exactly what these streams are for. Like, if you can watch and pick up on something, then I'm glad. Like, I don't really have the time or the skills to explain, to do proper tutorials, but if you can pick up on some things here and there, then I'm glad. Yes, thank you everyone for coming along and hanging out. Yeah, I will aim to stream again tomorrow night, and we'll see how much we can get done then. But bye guys! Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to find someone to raid. I forgot that was a thing. I couldn't figure out how to raid last time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me... I will see if... I might have to... I really thought that I figured out how to do it from last time. Apparently not. Let's just go through Twitch itself. Do we go to another art stream or do we go to a Sims 4 stream? Is the question. Art stream? I'm thinking art stream as well. Let's see. Let's see. I really don't know enough. You know what? This person is also doing some 3D art. So let's do that one. I don't know who they are. I hope that they're okay. Nope, did that not actually work? Why is it not working? I'm so confused. Slash, that would be why. There we go. Okay, we figured it out. Yay! Alright, I'll hop into the raid as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoy what they're making. Thanks for hanging out!